How's the side recovered after a tough game on the weekend?
Yeah, the side recovered really well. I think it's a huge game for us as a team and as a club. So I think everyone's really up for it and really looking forward to it.
Are there any sort of injury concerns heading into tomorrow night beyond what we already discussed on the weekend?
I think only Yanni Nikolau's a cushion mark, but everyone else seems to be doing really well.
I asked you a couple of weeks ago, how do you sort of prepare for these stages of the competition? But you're facing something you know quite well. You've already beat them this year in the Mariners. Does the preparation look a little bit different because you're facing a fellow A-League side, or do you just stick with what you've been doing?
We just stick to our process and what we've been doing this whole time. In terms of preparation for this match, it's difficult with the scheduling we've had, but we just focus on ourselves and make sure that we get every player as fit as possible for the match, as fresh as possible. In terms of the way we try and play, the players understand their roles. So it's a big match. It's a final. So every player, every staff member, everybody involved in the club is up for this match. So really looking forward to it.
I guess just following on for that, how important is winning tomorrow night, given that it creates a lot more travel and a lot more of a condensed schedule in the back end of the season?
To be honest, we're not really focused on the travel. We're just focused on the match and wanting to win. We go into every game wanting to win these matches, and we know the importance of it for the club. It's great that there's two Australian clubs in the final. I think it's great for recognition for the Australian League. But we're focused on us, and we're very motivated for this match.
It's $153,000 up for grabs for the club tomorrow night with advancement, which I joked a couple of days ago is about the price of about 1/3 of the price of an apartment across the road. There was a report that came out yesterday as well from VPro that said AFC Champions League isn't really fit for purpose. I know this is the kind of like the second stage down, but does seeing a prize money for advancement this deep into the tournament, when you put it comparatively, really kind of drive home that maybe some reform needs to be had in these competitions?
Yeah, I mean it's not for me to say really, but when you look at it, you want the prize money to be a bit more. I think a lot of the clubs that travel far, are losing out. It's not easy for the club and the owners. The prize money would be great if it was more to cover most of the costs and even an incentive for some of the players and the clubs. So hopefully they'll look at that into the future and make it a bit more appealing.
Jake, you've had a fantastic season. You've really kind of come into your own. How do you feel that this season has gone for you overall?
Yeah, I think it's been a really good season for me in terms of just being more consistent in my game. I think the main thing that I can put a difference to is I've had a lot of unfortunate illnesses and injuries that have prohibited me having a full pre-season or disrupted my actual season, which is very hard for a young player to build momentum. But this year I've been very fortunate, and touch wood, that nothing else happens, that I've been fit and able to go through a full pre-season with the club and with Mile, understand how he really wants to play and build on what I have been over the past seasons. Yeah.
Jake, just how hard has it been to get to this zonal final, because you've travelled, to Thailand, to Philippines, all over the place, midweek games. How hard a journey is it?
It's a hard journey, but it's a rewarding journey. You go to these places and they're not the most appealing. Sometimes you're sleeping on very hard beds. You've got to be careful with what water goes into your mouth, what foods you eat, but it's very rewarding when you come away with the win and you get to travel home and then play again on the weekend. And as for players, every player will tell you they just want to play games. So for me, a young player, the more games we play this year, the better. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. And Mile, is it good to have this game so quickly? Because the last one was frustrating, right, for the club and himself?
Which game, sorry?
The one you just played on the weekend, the Wellington one. It's good to have another one to...
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have another one to focus on and forget about the last one. I think we're in a good place anyway, as a team and as a club. Everybody's moving in the right direction, and you could say it was a little bump in the road on the weekend, but we're still very motivated to finish the season strong.
And what's been something funny or quirky that's popped up that you didn't expect on all these trips away?
Well, that's a good question. There's not much that I can remember. I mean, going back to your previous question to Jake, it's been a long journey for us. You know, we've travelled to a lot of places, and I think for our squad, for most of our squad, it's the first time they've travelled and played overseas in competitions like this. So it's been a great learning experience. It's great for every single player, young or old, and you know, I'm just proud of the boys and the club and the way we've handled things, and you know, to get this far.
And after all that, you play one of your neighbours, basically the Mariners. Jack, how do you look at this matchup? And I mean, they're a team who's in form at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say both teams are in form. Both are doing very well in the league, and both have scored freely in the AFC Cup. So I think it'll be a very exciting game. I think the main difference is we are very well equipped on how the Mariners want to play in comparison to some of these other Asian teams that we've been facing. And I think it'll make it for a really hostile game because we both teams know what's on the line. It's very important for both clubs to win this one.
Yeah, so I mean, how keen are you to continue and make some history for the club?
Very. It's very exciting for the club and the players and the staff involved. It's a chance to win the AFC Cup, but also put ourselves in the Champions League, the Asian Champions League next year, which is very important. It's a goal that we've probably all set. And just the pride aspect of beating our neighbours up the coast and getting a win over them.
Jake, you're obviously you've got Corey at Sydney FC, you've got Shay also at Sydney FC. You're kind of in the same city. Like, do you guys get a chance to talk much? Do you talk about football? Do you watch a lot of football on your day off?
Yeah, we live together, so it's a lot of our life is based around football. Even when we were from younger, we'd always train. These days, it's not as much training; it's more just watching and talking about it. Even get home and how's your training? Just caring about their development and their career as well. So it's a lot.
Do you all offer advice to each other?
Oh yeah, well, I probably would be the hardest on my other two siblings if I'm being honest. I always watch their games. I always watch my games, and I'm always there to help improve their game if I think I can. And they're the same for me.
And Shay's obviously got a young Matildas call up. She's off to Uzbekistan in a couple of weeks for that tournament. How proud are you of her for getting that call up?
Very proud. Everyone can say she obviously worked hard, but I've seen it every day for years and years and years. She's probably one of the hardest workers I know, and she deserves every success she's getting.
Okay, thank you.